All right, mic check, mic check. All right. Back, Main and Slim interviews, of course. I got two special guests across from me. I'm going to introduce yourself real quick, starting with the special lady over there.
Hey, I am Karen
Gus's favorite.
I am Karen Gordon, and I am the Empress of Cool.
And I am Kigwana Cherry. I'm her minion. And
facts.
She's a little taller than you, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Real quick, I know that the Cherry, where does that come from? That's your name for real? Or?
Yeah, that's my last name.
Is that a red car out there?
That is a red truck
I didn't know
out
if it was just a little thing you were going by and everything you were doing was red. I just making sure first.
No, I just like the color red.
I asked her, I said, does he drive a Cherry car?
Right. That's cool.
And Miss Karen, real quick, I guess the first question I want to ask just to kind of, break the ice. How do you feel right now, like in this moment we in, this time we in right now, this day and era? How does it feel like to be named Karen right now?
Oh man,
I didn't even think of that.
I kind of, I was not ready for that, even though you kind of teased it earlier.
I threw it in there.
Yeah. I actually love it, really. I get the best of both worlds, because when I do something ignorant, then I can say, hey, I've just been Karening all day today. so I dig it. I do.
That's funny. I had made a post and it kind of like the most I ever got shared, like thousands, get shared every day.
Yeah.
And people keep commenting and saying like, I need to change my name. I said, I'm gonna ask Miss Gordon how she feel about this. I didn't think about that at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking to you, and I don't think about that. I said, oh God, I can ask this question now.
Yeah, one of Kigg's bandmates, they were doing a concert on his lawn, and he said, "Man, it must suck to be you right about now." I was like, first of all, what are you talking about? He said, to be named Karen. I was like, oh yeah, it ain't that bad. It's not that bad though.
Well,
I dig it.
You mentioned bands. So I want to get into like y'all too real quick before we get into what we want to talk about. Tell me a little about yourself and where you from, upbringing, what do you do?
Okay, I'll begin. I was born in the metropolis of Waynesboro, Georgia, many moons ago. Moved to Augusta when I was 8, and that was a long, long, long time ago. I'm a musician, jazz musician by trade. I'm a lover of community, and I've been living here pretty much forever. Left briefly to go to college for a minute, but yeah, I love all things Augusta, the people, the music, the creativity. That's about it.
I can tell. I can definitely tell.
I like how she tries to be modest, but all right.
She's so calm and chill.
You can't have the name the Empress of Cool and be like, yeah, that's all about it. That's a little bit about it.
I kind of wonder, how is she like turned up if she even has that setting, Because I always see you just always cool and relaxed. Like I get relaxed being around you.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, we're pretty
chill for the most part.
Yeah, we're pretty chill even with that, because we were hanging out together yesterday, trying to figure out how we're gonna take over the world. But we just
pinky in the brain. Oh, I should have said
pretty
that.
Much. That's
I
it.
don't know who's who, but it's all good.
It's more like brain and brain.
Okay, got you. Okay, that makes sense. I like that. Brain and brain.
Yeah, I dig it.
What about you though? Like tell me about yourself.
So I do have a job. I'm gonna start with that one.
Okay, no Tommy over here.
I am a construction engineer by trade. Also a musician and classical singer. My business is Pop Up Augusta, which I actually started when I first started working with Karen with Garden City Jazz, and then from Garden City Jazz, Karen became my incubator to start Pop Up Augusta.
That word.
Yeah, it's great. It's pop-up dinners and concerts that we do all around the Augusta River region.
What?
You don't know the location until about 24 hours in advance. What you do know is that you're always going to get a 3-course meal. The entertainment is always some kind of twist, or it's music. And we can literally be anywhere. We can be outside in the middle of a football field, or we can be in a nice garden grotto. We can be inside at a local business. at a home. And it's always small, intimate.
It's just
settings.
some random thing. It's just random. Like
Very much so random. We've had everything from a pop-up speakeasy burlesque to murder mystery. Everybody's favorite during the summertime is our Mimosa Crawls, where you go to. Really it's an all-inclusive crawl that you go to different restaurants and try signature mimosas. And it's just been a great thing.
That just pop up.
Just literally pop up.
Okay. It makes sense.
Musician,
that sound dope though.
Oh man, it's great. We enjoy it.
It's great too. I heard it.
You don't need to hear about it. You need to come.
Well, 24 hours. How am I supposed to?
We're gonna. Well, no, we put the announcements out beforehand.
Okay.
But the location is to be announced, right?
Right. So that was the concept that ended up moving, and I mean it's been fun since 3 years of been doing it. Have made a lot of different connections. Even now have sponsors that want to sponsor, which I ain't even ever think about like having my own business in this realm. But it's been great. It's been a blessing. So I can't complain about it. Musician wise, I have 2 bands. I have my local band, The Lady and the Gents, 2018 and 2019. Jazz R&B Best of Augusta winners. Then I also have my other band, which I call my scattered band, because we're scattered from Cincinnati all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, called Ingrid Wood and the Wood Tribe Orchestra. And we do have an album out now on Spotify and iTunes called Going Live in 5 with Ingrid Wood.
I like that
and the
plug.
Wood Tribe.
Right.
I like that plug.
I always put that in.
I like that plug. When you start touching the scene, I knew you were plugging something. I said, hey, something coming soon.
I just got to figure out to do with my hands. I do that a lot, so I talk with my hands a whole lot.
That's right.
Cause both of y'all do bands, right? So, have y'all ever had like y'all ain't doing a versus battle on IG? Y'all ain't that bored yet?
No. Usually Karen and I might play together sometime, play and sing together as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we haven't done the battle thing, but yeah.
I'm trying to get her to do learn some opera arias, because I really love singing classically, but she won't, but it's cool.
But y'all both sing? I never heard you sing. I know you do. I never heard you sing though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I sing too. Hey, write me a check.
Nah, I'm about to say I'm not. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it to Karen. I think I learned my lesson last episode.
Oh yeah, man, you tried to trick somebody into singing last episode. It didn't work.
He gave me a little laugh. I was like, all right, chill out now. I get it.
Right.
As far as the band though, like, how do you go about making a band? Is it like the
MTV
movies where you in the garage and you hot and sweaty and you got your guitar?
Almost.
Pretty much.
We were in a studio though. We found a cheap studio, but it worked.
Yeah.
It's really having that vision. I'll tell you, like for the Lady and the Gents, for example, the way that we got started, we never thought that we were going to be a band running now for, I think 3-4 years now.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah. We started out, Ty, our lead singer, she wanted to be a lounge singer for her birthday. And she knew our MD, Lindsay, and she was like, well, hey, you put this band together. This is what I want to do. And so he hit me up and a couple of people, and we did her birthday party where she was the lead singer. And everyone was like, you all should keep this up. This is cool. You all have a different idea, because we do a lot of jazz and R&B mashups. Mm-hmm. So it's flowing into different songs that either the lyrics make sense or the music makes sense, to where now 3 years later we're still together and still playing together. And I mean, we never thought of it was supposed to just be one show. And then from there, it's just, you build upon it. Those who want to stick around and be a part of it. And we know it's not for everybody. So, there's some people that we were working with and we have good friendships with, but, life happens where they say, well, I got to take a seat back on this one. But, they're still encouraging. It wasn't like, no bad vibe or anything like that. It's just that's not their number one avocation. Mm-hmm. So same thing with the Wood Tribe. We started out in college. All of us were in choir together at Tuskegee. Ingrid, at the time, was writing her own music, did her own album, got awarded for People's Choice Award in, I think it was like 2009, and did co-wrote some songs for Layla Hathaway, got her single put on Queen Latifah's album. And when she graduated before many of us, and when she really, the artists, the industry folks were encouraging her to do her own music. But she didn't want to do her own music with just a random band. She wanted to use her original band that she had while we were at Tuskegee. And actually now the whole Wood Tribe Orchestra is now a band of us Tuskegee grads that are mainly down south, and then another crew that is out of Cincinnati, is out of Cincinnati, and we now like merged together to make the Wood Tribe Orchestra. So it's just, once you have that dream and you just work it, and it might take a couple of weeks, might take a couple of years, but once you fine tune it, it's a great thing.
True. It's got a lot of headaches too. I mean,
it's
you don't have
headaches.
you don't have those problems, but I've had those problems. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah.
Dealing with just music or
Well, because you're dealing with people, and people are crazy sometimes.
I agree.
So that's it. But it is rewarding in that if you love music, you get a chance to play it with, and you get a chance to play it with some of your favorite people. That's when it works very well.
I do want to ask you. I know we got to get into other stuff. I want to ask you a question because you had made a post a while back. It was a joke when you posted it. I guess somebody asked you something about a price.
Oh yeah.
I remember that 'cause it stuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so how, I guess my question to you is, with the work you put in and what you bring, the value you bring to any venue you go to, and you and your band, how do y'all determine I guess if you're gonna take a lower price or a higher price? And I ask that because you seasoned in this, so you know.
Yeah. I determine whether or not I'm going to reduce my rates based on really a lot of things, but mainly just whether or not I want to do the gig. That's pretty much it. If I don't say it often, but people who know me know that I will work for free. I'll do that. I don't have no problem doing that. I won't work for everybody for free.
Case by case basis. It depends
Case by
on.
case.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we starting something now, and I was kind of telling the same thing. It's like I want to have a base price, but also it's different for different people. It depends on what it is. I might be very interested in doing this topic, so it's like, all right, what can I work with? What can I work with you with? You know what I'm saying? Or it might be something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overcharge, but I'm gonna give you the regular price. I'm not gonna go down or low. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, that's the price right there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I was, I ain't want to be doing nothing wrong. I feel like if Karen does it, it's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Karen Gordon at it. Not every Karen. Just this Karen. Not every Karen.
That's accurate. That is pretty accurate. Yeah, because I mean, if it depends on whether I'm working for myself or whether I'm working for somebody else. Just all those things come in. And I know some musicians who use like a formula, who use a chart to determine, how much they're gonna, and they have a very flat fee. If it's for however many hours, what's the load in like, how many people, all of that. I don't do that. I mean, there have been times when I've done a gig with my band, and it cost. I had to pay. I had to pay the musicians.
Oh wow!
So, but if it's something that I want to do, I mean, it's all about, the most important thing for me is the relationships. That's the most important thing. And if you take care of generally speaking, you take care of your people, they're gonna take care of you as well.
This probably one of my last music questions. I think. AE, y'all she sing with you a lot, right? Yeah.
I was gonna wear my AE T-shirt today. I said, let me put on
I
some
know,
clothes.
I know. I know of her. I know about. I interviewed her on Fire Nights. Very cool person. And I usually ask these questions because I feel like she does a lot of the right steps. But I don't know if do y'all kind of got her with that too? Not saying I tell her to do, but I feel like she's around good people. So now it's making sense why she's making the right decisions. Me and him talk about a lot, like artists making decisions.
Yeah,
she seemed to make
team.
some great decisions with her
Absolutely.
career.
Yeah.
AE is great to work with. I know she has her own team. She does, ask us questions. I'm constantly trying to book her anytime somebody's like, I need
amazing singer.
Oh yeah. Anytime somebody's asking for, I need a neo soul or indie artist, original music, she's the first person I'm calling. And so and that's not to discredit what she's been doing herself. But on our end, our collaborations, we talk a lot about the different, going through woes, going through the high points or whatever. And, it's getting to the point where it's like I tell her, like, this is as much as I know. And then she finds somebody else that can take it from there and say, okay, this is what I do know so far, and then take it there. But she's great to work. I mean, it's just that energy that she has and that drive that she has. Matter of fact, I was just telling somebody about her the other day. I was like, look, there are a lot of artists in Augusta, very serious artists, and she's one of the first ones I named right out of my mouth that if they were ever, or if I was ever given the opportunity to give them the opportunity to be on that big mainstream, she'll probably be the first person I call.
She would definitely be the first
Yeah,
person
number one
I
for me
call.
too, and I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. We were
we
just
all-
talking
we
about
all
it
say
If
that.
I win the lottery, I'm just say, hey, we going on tour.
and, you know, me and him talk because we know a lot of rappers or singers and stuff like that locally, and me and him talk a lot of times. Like we have these people do these lists every now and then, I guess to shake up the city or whatever. And mostly rappers lists, but when you think about artist lists, like she's always number one. Anytime me and him do our own, we don't put them out publicly because we can't do that. But you know what I'm saying, she always number one because
Gotta protect the
it
brand.
just anything she do.
Right.
She would. And you said mashup, and I thought of her because she was doing some mashups a while back.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to download one and put on my page. I felt like people would come to my page if I did that, but I ain't do it because I'm like, I ain't gonna knock her like that. But
Yeah.
she do some dope mashups. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, and I only ask like I seen her around you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, a lot. So, just wanted to make sure I get that question in. So I got y'all on camera.
My
you know.
party on
Yeah.
the Green Helper was it like 4 or 5 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
AE was my. I was running the stage at Party on the Green. That's where we first met. And every year after that, I was like, man, you good at doing this. I'm gonna call you back every year. And just to
Yeah.
see her grow over the years since
Yes.
I've been back in Augusta, it's been amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is phenomenal.
Yeah. I love her.
Now I know y'all got a project. I mean, not a project, but stuff y'all doing together right
Mm-hmm.
now. I want to kind of get into that. I couldn't find no segue. I'm not gonna lie to you. I could not find a segue to
Next point. There we go. I like it.
from that to this. And it was going so well. I didn't want to stop. I'm like, nah, I want to, but
Good.
let's talk about that a little bit. Like, well, what got y'all working together, and what are y'all working on?
The garden project, the growing thing. Well, oh man, let's see. Well, Kigg and I have been working together for like 100 years. It feels like. I mean, 100. I mean, good years and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we won a grant. We won a grant from Georgia Grown, something like that, a couple of years back, that involved growing your own food, right? And the purpose of that was to support farmers and growers in South Augusta, because all of the markets, all of the locally grown is is downtown. At Eve Street or at the clubhouse, all the resources for farmers and growers are downtown, and most of the growers live in South Augusta. So we pulled some stuff together. My good friend Carla Walker, this was her project, because she was the one who was really into growing. And what I wanted to do as a musician is I wanted to hold a series of concerts on Black-owned farms. That's how this whole
amazing,
thing
though.
started. So, but she had a health crisis. We won the grant. She had a health crisis, so she couldn't execute it. So that's how I kind of was thrown into this whole farming thing. And so, with all things, if I have a brilliant idea, I call Kigg and I say, "Hey, let's do this thing together." So he said, "All right." So that's
Yeah.
short. In short, that's how it happened. So, so Kigg is growing in his backyard, and I'm growing at my mother's house, and we just moved to a new house, so I haven't started growing anything there yet. But with whole coronavirus and us being working musicians, I'm a full-time musician, so I ain't got no job right now. Kigg still
man, I'm
has
sorry
a
to
job.
hear
It is what it is.
No tours, no
You
shows.
recognize that I have a job.
Nothing.
Thank you.
I told you gotta get that versus battle going on, man. You gotta charge for a versus battle. Man.
You got to come up with creative ways to make money around these times.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. So I
I'm
still
going
have
through it too, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, I have other things that I'm doing, but like one of the things that I do on a consistent basis is I do perform. I don't perform as much, but what I do a lot of is provide platforms for other people to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my thing, and not being able to do that, I'm like, well, blankety blanket blank. I almost said one of my jazz words. Blank. So I gotta do something.
Can we use jazz language on this podcast?
Yeah, I know.
We talked about that right before we start recording too.
Exactly.
You can use jazz language, not slim language, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think that was gonna be a slim word though. I think that was gonna be one of those. So we just, I had planned to do this community garden thing, but then when COVID hit, I was like, well, I may as well. I mean, the time is now, especially. So I've been aware of the need to be able to grow our own food, right? To know where your food comes from. But then COVID hit, and then it was like, it was devastating, but it was perfect timing. It really was, because I was like, damn, this is messed up. But because we had tons of gigs lined up, right, for spring, because that's when that's when we make our money. But then all that went away. So in addition to kind of figuring that whole thing out, I said, well, I've got these seedlings, I need to plant them. And so we called everybody we knew. Hey, I got some vegetables, you got some space in your backyard. That's kind of how this started. And we're joining Black planters groups for Black people who were farming. And farming and growing is becoming more prevalent now, especially now with coronavirus. So that's how we did like a hard pivot from, really music to farm.
But have you like farmed? Were you always farming all your life, or?
No,
But you're from Waynesboro, right?
Yeah, I'm from Waynesboro.
I thought they did that out there. They told me that y'all grow everything.
They lying to you. They lying.
Nah, Maine just got this crazy image in his head of Waynesboro being the most country place in the world.
Really?
I really do.
You probably
Yes,
thought I was
she
going to
does.
come in here with like a little thing in my
Yeah,
teeth.
straw hat.
You
never know.
Hey y'all.
I don't know. He got the
I mean, I
spinners on. I don't know.
Right.
Hey, I gotta hold my pants up.
Fresh up.
But I do be looking kind of busted coming up through the garden section. But I'm like, hey, I'm outside. I'm working. So,
But I asked you
Yeah.
that because when I see you garden and tires, so I
Yeah.
assume that you just always did it. I didn't know you just picked it up like just recently. I thought you always did it.
that just happened like 2 years ago. That I tried to put something in the ground. That's the first time for me.
That was our challenge from the farmers that we're collaborating with, because they would be at like the market or we'll go and support them. And there was always this joke. I think it was Mr. Addison that said, he was talking about musicians and farming. And was like, y'all musicians don't, we got this, just, And we're like, wait a minute, we know how to do something. So we started, I started calling it Farming Musician Outreach. And this was about the same time that we won the grant as well.
Right.
And it was literally, and that's literally what it is. It's us musicians with farmers that just came to do a collaborative effort to make, things grow from there. I mean, I guess the latter side of that would be getting the farmers to learn how to play an instrument or sing something, but it's just been a great collaborative from there. I'm not somebody who is a avid gardener all the time, and same thing about 3-4 years ago, just started, working the land and whatnot. And now it's become an enjoyable thing. I even got indoor plants now.
So yeah, and y'all growing food. So y'all eat the food as well?
Oh yeah. We
What's
did
the
some
first
last
thing
week.
y'all planted? Was it tomatoes or peppers? First thing y'all planted?
Actually, the first thing I planted was sunflowers.
Sunflowers.
Yeah, I started
Oh,
with
that's
sunflowers too. I mean, they're easy. Although I don't think I actually ate the sunflower seeds, but yeah, I
did.
started.
They were good.
I started with sunflowers too, but then tomatoes and watermelon. I haven't done peppers, but yeah.
And what's the difference that y'all have seen in when you, I guess, grow it versus when you go buy it from, I don't know, buy a little Walmart or something like that?
It's fresher. It tastes very different.
Good thing though.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, very different in a good way.
Yeah.
My favorite that I like to tell people about are cherry tomatoes. Because I don't like to use like pesticides and whatnot. So I'm using all like organic fertilizer. My favorite one is cricket crap from Bricko Farms. You buy it here locally. Works great in the garden. But from that, like the tomatoes taste sweeter. You feel good because you actually work the land that you're getting your stuff from. And it's great when somebody's like, oh, I need a tomato. Or, oh, I need some onions. And you're like, I got that in the backyard. You're like, hey, we can go pick it up. So
More convenient.
yeah, like we had
That's
brunch.
right.
We had brunch last week. And I mean, from mimosas to vegetables and everything, we pulled everything right out of my garden.
Yeah.
So, that was like the cool thing about it was you can look at this table and everything you grew. And you know exactly where it came from. You don't have to worry about if it says it's organic. You know it's organic.
Right. Because there's a sense of pride in knowing that this is something that you created or you tended to and that you grew. It also puts just things in perspective, because it's not as simple. It's easy to just go walk in the store and pick something up, but if you're growing something, I mean, you got to be patient. It's gonna take a minute.
Is it season based? Like, I know, like right now, it would probably seem like a better time to garden. But what about the winter time when it's cold? Like, how do things grow then when it's not that much sunlight?
The great thing is that there are vegetables that overwinter, that grow in the winter. Greens, leafy greens are great for that. So yeah, and because we're growing, everything is in season, and everything is in climate. So we've had to learn all of that. You know, like for example, I've ordered some Brussels sprouts seedlings because I really love Brussels sprouts. But what I did not know is that I should not have planted them then because it was hot. So because and I think I planted them I started planting in March or April, and then even though it didn't get hot until like 2 days ago, but you know, you just learn a respect for the land itself, really, the power that you have when you know how to grow your own food, and it's really liberating. For me, it is. It is.
What, like, I guess not the goal, but like, what is y'all like aim for what y'all doing now? Like, y'all planning to sell fruits, y'all, or vegetables and food? Do you want people to, or you just kind of get people to start growing their own as well? Like, it's just one thing where you trying to get a collaborative effort from everybody, or
all of that, all of those
both
things.
Trying to sell them and then also get people to start growing their own.
Yeah. So we've been having conversations with a group of farmers, and we're talking about we're starting a farming co-op, and farmer. So when you think farming, you probably think, you know, acres and acres and acres of land, but urban farms. I mean, Kigg lives in West Augusta, and he's growing in his backyard, and he can, if he wants to, he can produce enough food just on that plot to support his family. He could do that. So we're revising the way that we look at the word farming. I mean, I could
rebranding farming.
I was about to say, how much time you got? Because I can talk about this all day. Because I've learned so much since I started growing. I've learned that how precious of a resource land is, because, you know, nobody's making any more land. I've learned a lot about how important it is that Black people own land. All of that too. So
well, I guess kind of talk about that a little bit. Black people own the land, like the importance of that.
It's important because, we come from an agrarian society. Did I use the right word?
It sounds like you did.
Okay, let's just go with that.
Word.
Let's stay with that. But our ancestors have farmed, and then we have just for whatever reason, because slavery, like they say on Black AF, because slavery, a lot of our folks, a lot of our community sees farming has a negative connotation attached to it, when so many of our ancestors have owned land and had that land stolen from them by white people. So it is important that we own land, just because it's a non-renewable resource.
I like the way you put that. I thought you were getting your bag for a second. You did though, but it was like, I like that. Like, you like, yeah, I'm gonna got you. Hey, you want?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing with this, and we would have been doing this anyway had COVID-19 not happened. We just wouldn't be as full-fledged with it. It wouldn't be as extensive.
Aggressive.
Yeah, and Kigg, you know, he's got indoor plants now, so he's got a little bit of a problem. He's kind of addicted.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Oh, you going hard with it?
Well, see, what happened was, like she was saying, we got in these Facebook groups with Black planters and whatnot, and I met this young lady, and I went on this date, and she had indoor plants, so she bought me an indoor plant, and next thing you know, I have like 15 in my sunroom now.
Okay.
Oh, that's a cute love story.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, put the music behind that, please. I like that.
She kind of, that story is kind of gone. But I love indoor plants now, and I'm still single.
I know, right?
Play Case. I'm Missing You. I like that one. No, but
This goes out to my
The
special
one that I let
my
go.
my, my special soaring mate.
that is funny. But okay, so and with the farming, you said it like what how you think we see farming now versus how you see it and what you're doing?
Man, it's hard. It's hard work. It really is. It's not fun. It's hot outside. It's dirty. That's how I felt about it. And I still feel this way. I try to get my son involved. He does so reluctantly a lot. But we have to get up early and we have to do the work.
Oh, get up early and work. That don't sound like fun.
Not at all.
And it's hot.
And it's
get
hot.
dirty.
Yeah, all of that.
But the end is gratifying though.
It really is.
When you start to see the stuff growing and you take pictures of it and like it's pretty dope.
So I guess I actually this: how do farmers feel? Not with the musician part, just what y'all doing? Because it seems like y'all had success in doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever feel like a way? Do you feel like they ever feel like a way? Like, well, maybe if they get the game, they might just take it and run with it, or
We our elders, the OGs. Does anybody say that anymore?
yeah,
we still say
OG. Okay. In the local farming community are Sam and Loretta Adderson, and they encourage as many people as possible all the time, not just now, but they have always encouraged folks to learn how to farm because we need more farmers. Small farmers now. Industrial agriculture is a thing too, and that's a whole nother conversation where you have these large companies buying up swaths of land and growing for volume and kind of pushing the small farmer out. That's an issue.
I can't think of it. It's a movie about that. I think Matt Damon played in it. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was a good movie though, but it was about that. He went somewhere in some little land place, and they was doing it. And I guess his job was to try to get them to sell it so that the company can come in and take all this. It's like a big piece of land.
Oh,
I can't think of it right now. But now, okay.
I was about to say that's Black Farmer 101 right there. That's just a way. That's what happens. And the Addersons are in their 70s, right? So they're not going to be doing this very much longer. But they need for younger people to take the mantle and run with it. You know, or else there will be no more black farmers, no people who are. I mean, there's these heirloom crops that need to be saved. It's a whole huge thing.
I guess let me ask a question because now as you say that, my grandma got a backyard, right? So like, how would I go about trying to find? Do I just pick a spot and say, okay, I'm gonna start right here, or is it like a certain spot I gotta pick? Like, how do I go about researching what I need to, or should I just start with sunflower seeds and go from there? My daughter loves seeds, so I would do that.
The gateway.
It
is. You can do that. You can do that. You can start with a raised bed. That's what I brought up some wood to have some raised beds on top of the ground. You can do that.
I don't ask it because, like I said, you know I work, and I actually work in the garden center. I don't know nothing about garden though. I know I'm managing, but not about the gardens. When they ask me stuff, I just be like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's really. I think for anybody, I say just go out there and try something.
Okay.
Do your research at the same time, but I think when you tell people to do their research, they want to research for like ever before they start. And one thing that I learned about with farming and whatnot, it doesn't matter how much you research. Your first time, your second time, you may have it right, you may not have it right. This is, like I said, my third or fourth year now growing in my backyard. And my first garden, I scorched it before I grew the sunflowers because I used too much fertilizer. And then that's what made me, I used too much 10-10-10, scorched the whole thing up. But then they clowned me forever.
But even that, like, so you got to even know about fertilizer and stuff, right? So you have to know all of that stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you start somewhere, and then you just slowly start to understand what fits you. The things that I say that work for me, and I give them as suggestions, they may not work. It's just like exercise or anything. Whatever works for me might work for me in my soil, may not work for you or your climate or whatever. So it's you learning as like each season, what to plant. Us, like how we collaborate with other farmers, learning what season it is to plant on something. I didn't even know there were zones for planting. I just thought you put something in the dirt.
That's why I was asking. Like, so it gotta be a certain place where this is good here, but it's not good over here.
Well, it's regional zones, like climate zones that we have that they have for farming. And then depending on your climate, even when you look at, like, when you get a bag of seeds, and you can look back there and they'll tell you when to grow it during that, whatever, by depending on what zone that you're in and whatnot. But those are things that you just learn over time. Like this year, how we were talking about Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and whatnot. We grew it way too early, and every farmer's like, "Oh no, you don't grow it right now. You got to grow this when it's cooler." We're like, "Okay." Then we learned something new. So, it's just I would just encourage people, just go out, do a little bit of research of stuff that you know that you like. I did. I started out with stuff I knew I wanted to eat. I was like, I'm going to get this because I know I'm going to eat it, and I like to eat it. And then from there, you start to expand. Like, once you're growing that, and you get how to grow that, and then you want to grow into other foods, and it's just a working in progress where what works for your region, what works particularly for your backyard, or whatever soil that you're using, or what methods that you use, and you just keep going from there.
When I was younger, I had a teacher who this was when I lived in New York. I was like in 5th grade, and she said that she only would drive to North Carolina to get sweet potatoes because mom wanted sweet potato, but it's from a certain farm.
Okay.
In North Carolina that she had to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when you said it, because I never ate it, I didn't eat that stuff. I ate it then. I ate it since then. All my life I've been eating sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
I never ate it to that day, but I guess it's kind of in the sense of that, like, you maybe somebody like a certain vegetable or whatever from a certain spot anyway. So let's say your thing was, I don't know, sunflower seeds. I'm just using that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People like your seeds. They may not like Karen seeds for some reason, but they like yours. Do you think it's like a thing where it's where y'all actually planting this stuff at, or just how y'all doing about doing it?
Yeah,
you saying use a certain fertilizer. So
it's location. It's how you tend to your soil. That's just like the Vidalia onions. The reason why people love to get them specifically from Vidalia is because of the soil. We have a lot of good soil, but our soil in Georgia. Man, I sound like a farmer for real now. But our soil, different places in Georgia, we have different soil. The acidity of the soil, the pH of the soil, just natural silt. Because we have a lot of clay under our topsoil, which helps with siphoning water and whatnot. So
topsoil and the soil you talking about is two different things.
Yeah, well, topsoil is like what you can buy at the store.
I know that part.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll make sure I'm telling the customer the wrong thing. I'll be like, yeah, that's right. I don't know. I just
I mean, soil is soil,
okay.
But when you start talking about different kinds, like going down into the ground, and you'll start to see that we have different levels before we hit bedrock.
Okay.
We have a lot of clay. We have some sand in some places.
What about
that's that construction engineer talking too now.
Yeah, that's part of
it.
it.
Compost.
Compost. This is the compost queen right here.
I love compost.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do.
What is compost?
It's like
it's
it
is.
It's a slim word.
Yeah. It is. It's like what I use in my compost is greens and browns. So it's either yard waste, a combination of yard waste, food waste, and then it decomposes, and then you use it to enrich your soil. So your your crops grow better in compost than in just regular dirt.
What about like black cow manure? Like, what's the difference? I'm gonna ask because we didn't have it for a long time. Like COVID, I guess, went on. We didn't have it in the store for like 2-3 months. People was getting upset.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then finally came back and they buying it. Like, we saw like 6 pallets. 2 days. Yeah. So, like, is it a big difference in certain kind of compost you get? Is it?
Manure is different from compost, but it serves the same purpose. Actually, when I go to your store, I get the bags of compost and manure. I don't do the topsoil. It's a little bit more expensive, but I'm fabulous like that. So
okay, I would agree. I would definitely agree.
I do that. But yeah, I mean, and I think, like Kigg said, that the best way to start is just to start. So after we won that grant, when we won the grant, I wasn't planning anything because the way that I saw myself fitting into that equation with the planters was to be able to throw a concert on their property.
Right.
That's all I wanted to do. So, but when we started having these conversations about growing and about and about growers, farmers, and hobby growers in South Augusta not having a market where they could sell, not having having to go into other people's community. It was really a more of a social justice kind of campaign. That's what that was. So, so my, if you drive down Morgan Road, you can see where my house was. It was a hot mess until, well, actually, I got some elephant ears from Kigg's yard. But I just started kind of testing the soil because I'd always heard that the reason that you have to do raised beds in Augusta is because the soil quality is bad. So it's just the best way to start is to just start. If if your vegetables burn up, you just plant some more. That's that's it.
Well, I guess where y'all at with actually still getting back to the root of what y'all want to do, and that's doing shows or concerts on actual farms. Now that y'all kind of getting acquainted with actual farming, I guess you can do it in his backyard if need be.
Yeah,
or in his house.
We've done that.
Yeah.
So y'all actually going back to doing shows.
Actually, that's something. Doing the show part of it is something that we never really stopped discussing, but the focus with growing has really shifted to really be more mindful, I guess, of that aspect.
So do y'all plan on I guess maybe have a concert or a show or whatever and use that to push the agenda to have people actually do their own farming and planting?
Yes,
absolutely. So I think the biggest thing that we see now, like Karen was saying, how everything has shifted, is we still want to have those, we want to do like, farm to table concerts where you can eat things that were grown, right in somebody's backyard or right down the street from you. But it's just bringing those two things together to build awareness. You're going to have some people that like music that are going to be there. You're going to have some people that like farming. And on both sides, both need awareness. Like Karen said, and she's got me doing, we create platforms for musicians. So what better way to have it where you have a platform for musicians to express themselves, and then you also have the table there where farmers get to express themselves and what they've grown. So it's still a ongoing thing that I think is it is going to grow into a really big thing.
Yeah, because even listening, I'm interested in just how that would play out now. Like even like tasting a fruit or a vegetable or something from somebody that grew it versus from a store. You might not like the one from the store. You might like the other one. Like you've been saying your stuff is sweeter. Yeah. Like how can you tell?
Just comparing it from what I've had from the store. Wow. And it's great. I always encourage people to go down to the Saturday market. You have a lot of your local farmers that they're, unfortunately not now, but for the past years, I very rarely have bought vegetables from the grocery store. It was because every Saturday I would go down and pick up my vegetables from downtown from local farmers. And you have that beneficial where it's like, hey, I supported a local farmer today. But at the same time, you need some better food. Let's just be real. It's some better food that you're getting. It's better produce that you're getting. They're not using what a corporate farmer has to do and the laws that they have to follow, or some things, every corporate farmer is not built the same. Some people are just like, hey, we just gonna make this food and call it a day. But you get a lot. It's a better feeling. You're supporting your community. You're getting better food, and a lot of times, sometimes it's even cheaper than the store.
So what about like so? Let's say for instance, my pops, he like to get vegetables and stuff like that, right? And lately, when I take him shopping, 'cause he live down here now, he don't like what he's getting. So he want to keep trying different places, and I keep telling him like, I don't want to go to different Walmart Bala. You go to the same place every time.
Walmart has the worst produce.
I don't know. He don't like none of them. I'm not gonna keep traveling all over the city.
That would be IGA.
So where would I take
IGA?
Guaranteed.
Hey, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
This is true.
But where's the place I can take him? That's not maybe a farmer. Like where would I be able to take him to get something that he may like?
There's the Augusta Locally Grown has their veggie park market on Thursdays downtown. If you're looking for a place to go, they also do their online market, and everything that comes from there is produced locally or within like a 50-mile radius or something like that.
Okay.
There are several others. There's a group on Facebook called CSRA Farmers Markets, and it has a Google map with a pin in the location of markets around town.
Okay.
Within the region.
You see, and even asking that question, right? It's funny because you just linked me to a bunch of things just now. Like you have this. I guess like from what I know about you're known to be like the gateway to a lot of things.
Ooh, gateway.
I just use that. That's a good term to use. You know,
Okay.
I'm trying to use big words like him. I don't know. I'm trying to compete, but my bag not that big. But and I asked like how did that happen? Like how did you become the connection to connecting so many connectors and all that?
That's a good question. Partly because I'm just nosy. I'm in everybody's business. That's a thing. But the reason that I'm in everybody's business is because there are people who are looking for something. Everybody is social media is Facebook is very social, so folks are connecting with people that way. And I mean it helps that I'm old. I got some age on me, so I've been around for a little while. So I started Garden City Jazz as a resource to connect musicians to new audiences and to promote the music and all that kind of stuff. And so it just kind of carries over into other stuff as well.
And what about you? Like, I know, like, do you plan on doing any more music as far as like album cuts or stuff like that? I don't ask that because you said you was on Spotify. So I don't know if you're working on something now or not.
Yeah. I am finally going to start this year working on my own EP. It's been a long time coming.
You got a title for it or not?
So far, right now, I've been calling it my operatic blues, simply because I play a lot of jazz. I play a lot of R&B. I can sing R&B, but my heart is with classical music. And so my whole thing is there has to be a way to, well, there is a way to fuse these two together. We hear it all the time, to make it something that I like, but also palatable to people. I would love to hear, redo an aria where you might have a electric guitar doing a rock solo behind it, or it might be to a hip hop beat. Might even have a feature. So it's just working those out and finding a way to find that right fusion and right songs, and also doing some original stuff as well.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. And I guess I asked that because I wondered if you do covers and you do covers or anything like that. Like, I need you to do a Case I'm Missing You cover. right in front of the plants inside the house. I need that.
That's guy right there.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. That's the first one I can think of.
No, we take that one. I like.
Take that one too.
I like the clip either way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's definitely. I think that's Guy or Aaron Hall, right?
Look with the
Aaron
Aaron
Hall.
right next. Yeah, that's Aaron Hall.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, using that window, going hard. Yeah, I know a little about music. You know, what I'm saying? I ain't on y'all level.
Wait till it's a rainy day outside, have candles lit. All right, you got to come shoot the video now, right?
Yeah, hey, we ready. I would definitely shoot that video. I'm telling you right.
Oh, I've been time stamping over here. That's why I've been on my phone so
why I
much.
keep looking over there. I need all of this. This is funny. But
that's right. That's awesome.
like what I guess what would you say to anybody that's interested in doing farming right now, black, white, whatever, just want to do their own kind of farming? Like, what would you, I guess, say to them to kind of push them to make that next step?
Just get started. Call us if you have any questions. There are lots of resources on online. I mean, I stay on YouTube all day, pretty much, trying to find out.
Here too.
YouTube University.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Proud scholar. I got my doctorates, but I'm still going.
I learned how to build a whole grow tent off of YouTube.
Wow.
See, that's crazy.
Okay. All right. There you go.
That's it.
And we're doing a plant giveaway in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Plant giveaway. Talk about it.
yeah. So on August the 8th at 8:00 in the morning, which is crazy early, but we're farmers now, so we got to get up early anyway.
Right.
This was actually Kigg's idea, so I'm gonna let Kigg talk about it because he's done all the heavy lifting. I just created the event.
It was a the connection inspiration, because we're always connecting, building relationships. But in Atlanta, there was a DJ. I want to say it's DJ Freedom. Might be wrong, but I believe it is DJ Freedom. He started a page on Instagram, and the first thing he put on there was, "If you're white, give a black person a plant." And next thing you know, it took off in Atlanta. You had people, they were calling it plant reparations. Everybody was given a plant. After that, there was a young lady that started, that did the same thing. She started just doing a plant giveaway. Reached out to different people that wanted to donate plants. And they had, hundreds of people that actually showed up in Atlanta just to get a free plant. Because that's been the thing people are now growing. So I was like, hey, we can do that here in Augusta. And started reaching out to people, called Karen, is like, let's do a plant giveaway. And started even reaching out to the others in Atlanta and whatnot. And the response has been great. Right now, we have about a good 100 or more than 100 plants so far collected. And we still have person that want to give us more. But it's just something to bring the community together. Pop-Up Augusta, our motto is to share a meal, ignite conversation, inspire change. So those last two, we can't share a meal right now, but we can definitely have a conversation. We can definitely inspire that change. And that's what we want to do with these plants. And that's what I think is definitely going to happen. So, yep, August 8th, 8 to 10, Jamestown Community Center.
South Augusta, yeah.
South Augusta.
Okay, shout out to South Augusta. But make sure I get a fly or something. They send me something because I can't give it out where I work, obviously, but I'm definitely going to tell all the people like me that come in there because they love plants, They love them, so if it's given away, they're going to come get it.
Exactly.
And people can also donate to, if they want to donate plants, if they have cuttings, they can donate. If they want to donate monetarily, they can donate to Cash App at $ Growing Augusta.
Growing at Augusta?
Growing Augusta.
Growing Augusta.
Just send that to me. I don't want to misspell it.
Yeah,
I will do it. I will. Yeah, when Kigg initially mentioned the whole giveaway, I was like, I don't want to do that. I ain't doing that. I ain't giving nothing away. I'm selling it. So then, so it kind of grew on me. Eventually, I was like, all right, that'll work.
It's a good idea. And it'll bring awareness if y'all can still get y'all point across on what y'all doing then. So
yeah,
I think that'd be amazing.
We figured out how we would just capture people's information, and we still got you.
Yeah.
So we'll keep in touch. It's really the same kind of way that the Pop-Up Augusta registration works. Because you'd asked a question about that earlier. How do you know? In order to find out anything about Pop-Up Augusta, you have to register first. So you leave your email, your contact information, and then how you want to be contacted, how you want, whether you want to cook or volunteer or whatever. So we'll have all those things as well.
That just sounds amazing. Like taking somebody on a date in Pop-Up Augusta, that sounds good. It sounds like
yes,
it's
the greatest date night ever.
It really is, and the thing that's really cool about it, like when the whole COVID-19 hit, and the governor or whomever was like, okay, no more than 250 people. We're like, no problem.
Yeah, we're like, we're good.
No problem. Then he's like, 50, no more than 50 people. All right, no problem. We at Humanitary House. We still straight. And then once it was
10.
like 10, we were like, still good because with pop-up events, the average number of attendees is like 15 or 20. Mm-hmm. So that's still executable. I don't know if that's a word. It is right now.
It is today, yes.
It is today. And doing these things in small groups allows more interpersonal interaction. Mm-hmm. So that's how you can't really connect with people if you got 5 billion people in the room. So that was part of the goal for that.
That's amazing. I like this. This is interesting to me. I never wanted to do no farming. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'll think about it now.
I just found that so hard to be. I was like, oh man, he's in a garden center. Surely he's planting something.
Not at all.
No. Anything for that paycheck.
Yeah, I just got good, man. I didn't want to be out there. Somebody was just messing up. I had to go out there. So that's how it was.
Oh man.
But yeah, I definitely never wanted to work outside. I told him that's one place I didn't want to work in. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Why I said that, I don't know.
Said, all right.
I got something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where all the magic happens, man. That's what Shanna came out there. We talked for a minute too.
Oh yeah.
A couple Sundays ago.
Oh, cool.
It was cool.
I will say like one thing I know about like being out there, as far as the plans and stuff like that. If you don't like, it's really a daily process. You can mess up a lot in the day of not doing what you're supposed to do. So a lot of times we throw away a lot of plants. We have to because then water that day before and it's 95 degrees, so it's all gone.
Yeah.
So
very true. And that's why you should call me.
Look, next time you have those plants.
Yeah, she just told me.
I've been known to resurrect plants from the dead.
I sent Maine a text a couple of days ago. I was like, hey, if y'all throwing stuff away, just call me and I'll come and get it.
Now they'll be up in the morning. I can let y'all know because we put on a cart. Sometimes be 25 cents for a plant. Sometimes.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So
let me know the next time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Just
let me
send
know a
me
little
a
pop-up
text
thing.
and I'll.
Yeah, I mean, if you gotta put it like behind a dumpster or something.
No, I got you. Nah,
I mean, I go.
They don't bother me. I kind of run out there. They don't bother me. They let me do what I want to do. So we good to go. But
that's cool.
Make sure y'all give people your social media, your name, businesses, Cash Apps, all that stuff. And I'll have Slim put on the things. He's a technical guy, so he'll put it on the screen and everything.
Awesome, Slim
need
genius. Yeah, cool. Karen Gordon. I mean, I have like 100 bazillion websites, but the main one is growingaugusta.com. Growing Augusta Arts, Agriculture, and Agency. That's our Instagram, Twitter, Cash App, also all that. Growing Augusta.
And mine is popupaugusta.com. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's also Pop-Up Augusta.
Very easy. But what Cash App? You're not throwing Cash Apps? You're not moving your hands.
Cash App, you got, there's Cash App, there's Kigg, Kigg. Y'all can Cash App that today if you want to. See, I know, right? Well, quick side note while we're closing, because Karen didn't tell you all is when we were talking about COVID and shutting down, we canceled about a good 70 different events and bookings from mid-March, and that was just up till May 1st.
Did you say 7 or 70?
70.
It was quite painful.
70. But we got past it. We were like, after May 1st, we were like, we're not going to count anymore. We're just going to keep moving. We're going to keep growing and keep making moves. But yeah, Overheard Augusta is also my other Cash App. Another live stream that we started to give platform during this time for musicians during COVID. So definitely check that out. It'll be popping up here and there. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's about it.
All right. Well, just make sure you give me the date when we can expect that cover from you. You know what I'm saying? We're looking forward to that.
I will.
Definitely.
I will.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let that go. Slim, you got anything?
Nah, I'm good.
You growing anything? You planting anything?
I thought about it before, honestly, and after like listening to y'all talk, I'm a little more artsy than Maine, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't think neither one of us is. Bruh, gardening is an earthy thing, dog. And we some city boys. That's why we don't really like connect to that. But I'm starting to get into my earthy ways.
No, you gotta
leave me out of that, man. What's wrong with you, man?
The first time I grew was on my balcony in West Palm Beach. On my balcony. So it's doable anyway. We have some friends now that are growing on their balconies and are producing a lot of fruits, vegetables, whatever they so choose. So it's really for everybody. Even with hydroponics now, like you can garden anywhere.
You really can.
I might get into it. I'm thinking about it.
5 gallon bucket,
like it, bro.
I got all that.
Ladies love it.
Oh, good question. I'm glad. Last question for you first. Have you ever been on farmersonly.com?
No, but we played for the Georgia Farmers Convention.
That's funny.
That was the last question. I had to ask that question. He mentioned that. I thought of it. I said I ain't gonna ask it, but okay, cool.
No, I just been hanging around. There's a Facebook group. I'll plug them real quick. Stronger Roots.
Because he's an admin, a moderator.
Well, I am now. I just started out.
All right, man. This was a dope episode. Maine and Slim. Thank y'all for having. Thank y'all for coming through and giving us a dope interview too.
Thank you for allowing us to
spend
some time with you.
We out.